You've probably experienced this before without fully understanding what was happening. You're talking to a woman regularly. Nothing feels overly dramatic. No obvious flirting, no direct confession. Everything seems casual on the surface, but deep down, something about her energy feels different around you. You start replaying small moments in your head afterward. The way she looked at you, the way her tone changed slightly, the way conversations with her somehow felt more emotionally charged than conversations with other women. And honestly, this is where many men become confused because women rarely express attraction openly the way men expect them to. Most women do not directly say, "I'm attracted to you." Instead, attraction usually leaks through body language, attention, emotional comfort, and tiny subconscious behaviors most men completely overlook. This is Isabella, and today we're breaking down 6 body language signs a woman is genuinely attracted to you, even if she never openly says it directly. And trust me, some of these signs are so subtle that many men completely miss opportunities simply because they never learned how female attraction actually shows up psychologically. So before we begin, comment your city below because I always love seeing where everyone is watching from. And if you enjoy these conversations about female psychology, attraction, and relationships, subscribe and join the community because the next signs are going to completely change the way many of you read women moving forward. The first sign is soft, relaxed lips during conversation. And honestly, this is one of those attraction signals men almost never notice because it looks so small on the surface. But psychologically, relaxed facial expressions reveal emotional comfort much faster than words do. When a woman feels emotionally drawn toward a man, her body often relaxes naturally around him. You may notice her lips stay slightly parted while listening to you. Her eyes soften. Her facial tension disappears. She looks emotionally present instead of distracted or guarded. And no, this is not something women consciously plan. It usually happens subconsciously when attraction and emotional comfort begin building internally because psychologically attraction changes body language automatically. The nervous system relaxes, defensiveness lowers, attention increases. And honestly, many men completely miss this sign because they expect attraction to always look dramatic or overly flirtatious. But female attraction often starts quietly through comfort, fascination, and emotional attention first. A woman whose body visibly relaxes around you is often telling you emotionally without words that she enjoys your presence far more than she openly admits. The second sign is that she carefully watches your reactions during conversations. And honestly, this is one of the strongest emotional attraction signs women give because it reveals that your opinion suddenly matters to her psychologically. Here's what it looks like. She says something funny in a group setting, but before anyone else reacts, her eyes quickly check your face first. She tells a story and subtly watches whether you smile, laugh, or seem impressed. Even small comments from you suddenly feel emotionally important to her, and most men completely miss what's happening. Psychologically, women do this when they are emotionally seeking validation specifically from a man they feel drawn toward. She wants to know whether you notice her beyond surface level appearance, whether you appreciate her personality, humor, intelligence, and emotional energy. And honestly, attraction for women often grows through emotional attention first. That's why women who like you usually become hyper aware of your reactions during conversations without even realizing they are doing it. A woman emotionally invested in your attention naturally starts monitoring how you respond to her because your approval quietly begins carrying emotional weight internally. The third sign is neck exposure and relaxed posture. And honestly, many men misunderstand this completely because they think every attraction signal has to look overtly sexual. Most of the time, it's much more psychological than that. When a woman feels emotionally comfortable around you, her body naturally becomes softer and less guarded. You may notice she tilts her head slightly while listening to you. She moves her hair away from her neck without thinking about it. Her shoulders relax. Her posture opens up instead of staying tense or defensive. And psychologically, this matters a lot because the body only relaxes like that when the nervous system feels emotionally safe. Attraction for women is heavily connected to emotional comfort, trust, and security first. That's why many women physically soften around men they genuinely like without consciously realizing it themselves. And honestly, many attractive men miss this sign because they are waiting for dramatic flirting instead of noticing emotional openness. A woman who becomes physically relaxed around you is often communicating emotional trust long before she openly communicates attraction verbally. The fourth sign is slow nodding while maintaining focused eye contact. And honestly, this is one of the clearest indicators that a woman is emotionally engaged in what you're saying, not just politely listening. There's a huge difference between casual listening and emotionally invested attention. When a woman feels attracted to you, she often listens differently. Her responses slow down. She maintains stronger eye contact. She nods gradually while you speak because mentally she is fully following your words instead of waiting for the conversation to end. And psychologically, attraction increases attention naturally. A woman emotionally drawn toward a man usually becomes more present during conversations with him because she genuinely enjoys hearing him speak. She wants to understand how he thinks, how he sees the world, and how he emotionally carries himself. And honestly, many men completely overlook this because they focus too heavily on flirting instead of emotional engagement. But a woman giving calm, focused attention during conversation is often showing much deeper attraction than loud, dramatic flirting ever could. The fifth sign is mirroring. And honestly, this is one of the most powerful subconscious attraction behaviors because women usually do it without even realizing it themselves. Here's what it looks like. You lean forward slightly, and a few moments later, she leans forward too. You pick up your drink, and seconds later, she picks up hers. You start speaking slower, and her tone gradually starts matching your pace and rhythm naturally. That's not random. Psychologically, mirroring happens when emotional connection and comfort begin building between two people. The nervous system naturally starts syncing behavior, posture, and energy with someone it feels emotionally drawn toward. And honestly, this is one of the attraction signs many men completely miss because it feels so subtle in real time. But emotionally connected people naturally begin aligning with each other physically without consciously planning it. A woman mirroring your body language is often quietly communicating emotional comfort, trust, and subconscious attraction long before she verbally says anything directly. The sixth sign is when her feet and body orientation naturally point toward you. And honestly, this is one of the most overlooked attraction signals because men usually focus only on facial expressions while ignoring the rest of the body completely. But psychologically, the body often reveals interest faster than words do. When a woman feels emotionally engaged with you, her body naturally aligns toward you subconsciously. Even in group settings, you may notice her knees, feet, shoulders, or torso staying directed toward you while conversations happen around both of you. And the interesting part is that this usually happens automatically. People naturally orient themselves toward what emotionally interests them. That's why body direction matters psychologically. A woman whose body consistently stays open toward you is often signaling attention, comfort, and curiosity without verbally saying it. And honestly, many men miss this sign because they expect attraction to look loud and obvious. But attraction often appears quietly through physical focus and subconscious positioning first. The seventh sign is repeated glances when you are not directly interacting with her. And honestly, this is one of the clearest attraction signs women give without verbally saying anything at all. You catch her looking at you across the room, she quickly looks away. Then later, it happens again. And many men instantly convince themselves it meant nothing. But psychologically, people repeatedly look toward what emotionally interests them. Women especially tend to observe men they feel attracted to before making interaction more obvious. They study energy first, confidence, presence, the way you carry yourself socially around others. And honestly, attractive men often miss this sign because they think women would be much more direct if they were truly interested. But female attraction usually begins through observation before action. A woman repeatedly checking your presence visually is often emotionally curious about you already, even if she never openly admits it directly. The eighth sign is nervous energy around you. And honestly, this is where many men completely misread female attraction because they assume attraction always looks smooth, confident, and obvious. Sometimes attraction makes women nervous too. A woman who genuinely likes you may suddenly laugh more than usual, stumble slightly over her words, fix her hair repeatedly, or become hyper-aware of herself around you. Sometimes she talks faster. Other times she becomes quieter and more careful with what she says. And psychologically, this happens because your opinion suddenly carries emotional importance to her. Attraction creates self-awareness. A woman who feels emotionally drawn toward a man often starts caring more about how she appears in front of him. That emotional pressure naturally creates nervousness sometimes, especially if the attraction feels genuine instead of casual. And honestly, many men mistakenly interpret nervousness as disinterest when it's often the complete opposite emotionally. Most women are never going to sit in front of you and directly announce attraction the way many men expect. Female attraction usually appears quietly, first through body language, emotional attention, nervous energy, comfort, and subconscious behaviors most men completely overlook. That's why so many men walk away from interactions later wondering, did she like me? Did I miss something? Was she giving signs? And honestly, many times the answer is yes. The problem is not that women never show attraction. The problem is that most men were never taught how to recognize attraction when it appears softly instead of loudly. Women often signal first through eye contact, positioning, mirroring emotional attention and nervous energy long before they openly express interest verbally. And once you understand these signs, your entire perspective changes. You stop assuming attraction has to look dramatic to be real. You start noticing how emotional comfort, attention, and body language quietly reveal interest much earlier than words usually do. Now, I want you to be honest in the comments. Which one of these signs have you personally noticed most from women? And if you enjoy these conversations about female psychology, attraction, confidence, and relationships, subscribe and join the community because the next videos are going even deeper into modern dating psychology and emotional attraction.